This teenager stayed awake for 11 days straight. By the end, his brain was slipping terrifyingly far from reality. Sleep looks boring, like wasted time, but without it, your mind and body begin collapsing much faster than you think. In 1963, two high school kids decided to answer a simple question: what happens if we never let the brain sleep? Meet 17-year-old Randy Gardner and his friend Bruce. No funding, no lab, just a risky science fair experiment. They flip a coin to choose the subject. The loser doesn't just lose sleep, he hands over control of his own mind. The timer starts. At first, it feels fun, late-night jokes, soda, and games. But biology has already started the countdown. Day 1 feels normal. Randy is energetic, joking, playing basketball. Inside, though, his brain chemistry is quietly shifting. Every waking moment, adenosine builds up in your brain, turning on the pressure to sleep. Normally, sleep washes this chemical away. By staying awake, Randy cancels the cleaning cycle. Sleep pressure rises, and his brain has nowhere to dump the growing toxic load. On day 2, his eyes stop focusing properly. Text blurs. Touch feels strangely distant, like he's wearing invisible gloves. Clumsiness arrives early. Sleep-starved brains can't coordinate muscles. Simple movements suddenly feel like complicated balancing acts. By day 3, Randy swings between laughter and rage. Mood control is one of the first systems sleep deprivation brutally takes down. The rational part of his brain begins shutting down first. The parts driving movement and habits stubbornly keep going. On day 4, Randy becomes convinced he's a famous football player. His brain starts rewriting reality to cope with exhaustion. He sees street signs as people moving in his peripheral vision. Hallucinations are no longer abstract, they're stepping into his world. His waking life begins to look and feel like a dream. The border between sleep and reality starts to completely break down. News of the experiment reaches sleep researcher Dr. William Dement at Stanford. He flies in, both fascinated and deeply concerned. Hooked to an EEG, Randy's brainwaves look chaotic. Sometimes they show awake patterns, sometimes fragments that look suspiciously like sleep. His eyes are open, but parts of his brain are literally falling asleep for seconds at a time. These are called microsleeps, your brain's desperate safety switch. Incredibly, he still beats Dr. Dement at pinball. Muscle memory and habit circuits are functioning, while higher thinking is practically offline. After 11 days and 264 hours, Randy breaks the record, but he speaks in a flat monotone, barely connecting sentences. He's rushed to a naval hospital. Doctors watch carefully, unsure whether his brain will recover or simply crash in dangerous ways. Randy sleeps for just 14 hours and 40 minutes, then wakes up feeling surprisingly normal, as if nothing extraordinary happened. To early scientists, it looked like the brain could bounce back easily, like recharging a battery, but that was a dangerous illusion. Years later, Randy develops brutal chronic insomnia. He believes the experiment permanently damaged his ability to sleep normally. Guinness eventually stops tracking longest awake records, calling them too dangerous. The risks of extreme sleep deprivation are simply not worth bragging rights. Modern science shows why. During deep sleep, your brain's glymphatic system flushes toxic waste proteins out of your neural tissue. Stay awake too long, and that cleaning system stalls. Waste builds up, increasing your risk for cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. Good sleep keeps your brain flexible, learning and repairing. Chronic bad sleep pushes it towards fogginess, forgetfulness, and long-term damage. Even one sleepless night weakens your immune system. Over time, your body becomes an easier target for infections and chronic inflammation. After 24 hours, you think slower. At 48, reaction times crash. Around 72, hallucinations and emotional chaos become increasingly likely. Driving in that state can be as dangerous as driving drunk. Microsleeps at the wheel cause thousands of deadly crashes each year. Even at work, you're not fully awake. Little chunks of your brain shut off for seconds while your body continues moving on autopilot. Caffeine doesn't remove sleep pressure, it just blocks the signal temporarily, leaving the adenosine pile waiting behind the scenes. You can't truly catch up lost sleep on weekends. Some cognitive and health damage simply doesn't fully reverse once it's accumulated. Late-night screens blast blue-rich light into your eyes, telling your brain it's daytime and delaying the release of melatonin. Your circadian clock needs darkness to run properly. When it's misaligned, you feel tired at the wrong times and wired when you want sleep. You can start fixing this tonight. A cooler room, real darkness, and no screens at least an hour before bed. Sleep isn't wasted time. It's when your brain cleans itself, repairs connections, reinforces memories, and resets emotional balance. Randy's 11-day experiment showed how far the brain can be pushed and why you should never, ever try this yourself. We've seen the record, the hallucinations, the hidden brain cleanup system, and the long-term price Randy likely paid. Sleep touches everything: memory, mood, metabolism, immunity, even your risk of dementia and heart disease over a lifetime. The modern grind culture tells you to sleep less and hustle more. Biology quietly disagrees, and biology always wins. Improving sleep doesn't just make you feel better tomorrow, it reduces chronic inflammation that fuels many modern lifestyle diseases. You don't need perfection. A regular schedule, morning sunlight, less late caffeine, and fewer night screens already make a huge difference. Here on this channel, we explore how your body really works, beyond myths, hacks, and quick fixes, using real science and clear visuals. If you enjoyed this deep dive into sleep, check out our video on what actually happens when you quit weed minute by minute. We'll show you how your brain rewires, detoxes, and recalibrates when you stop using cannabis and finally start resting properly again. Give your brain the sleep it begs for. You only get one, and it's quietly working to keep you alive every single night. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who proudly says they never sleep enough.